makeup look. This look right here. I wanted to do a look that is just very me. And if you've been watching my videos, you know how much I love bronze eyeshadows. So I went for it. I'm walking you through all the steps. I'm using my Charlotte Tilbury Bejeweled Eyes to Hypnotize palette because I absolutely love this. And this is the look that I created today. I wanted something smoky, but not over the top. And I wanted to use some products that I have not reached for, like a concealer that I haven't reached for in a while, a blush from the drugstore that's really great. We're trying a new mascara today, so we've got some old favorites and then some newer things kind of mixed into this video. It's a full face look, so I'm going to start with a bare face and walk you through everything that I did to accomplish this look. So if you're interested in watching it and you want to see how I did the look, then just keep watching. So I'm going to start today's video with the complexion, and I'm going to kind of walk you through the steps. I'm going to use a few different things today. I'm going to try to mix it up and use some different products that I haven't used in a few days. I've been really sort of stuck on my Charlotte Tilbury products because they're just that great and I absolutely love them. So I'm going to, try to use some different things. But I do have on some skincare products. I have basically an entire routine of the JLo Beauty products, and so I have that Glow Booster product on that gives a bit of a sheen, and I have it in this shade called Pink Champagne. So I will have everything, of course, listed below as always, but that's what I have on my face. It's kind of giving me that glow and that dewy look to the skin. So I'm going to go in with a little bit of this Tula. This is the Rose Glow and Get It. This is a brightening under eye cooling stick. So you kind of rub it back and forth like this, and you do feel that sort of cooling and sort of wet feel. And then you can massage it in, and it gives a nice kind of luminous finish under the eyes, which I think is really nice. And I make sure that it's well blended because I will be going with some concealer over the top of this. But I like that it has a bit of a sheen to it, so it's going to give you just a bit more of a glowier, brightened look under the eye. And if you have dark circles like I do, you may actually enjoy that. Okay, so for primers, you guys know how much I've been loving my Hollywood Flawless filter. I'm going to use a little bit of this because I don't want to have a bunch of like sheen and shimmer because I have that JLo Beauty product on, which does have quite a bit of shimmer, a lot more shimmer than this. This is much more natural and soft, and I have it in the shade One Fair, which you guys know I absolutely adore this product. It's one of my favorites, and I take basically 2 swipes on the back of my hand because it comes with a doe foot applicator. The packaging isn't the best as far as the applicator is concerned, but it is one of those products that is, for me, worth the hassle of doing the back of the hand kind of thing. And then I like to mix in the Pro Skin Glass Skin Primer from LORAC. I have not had a great experience with this brand as of lately with my orders and stuff, and I mentioned it kind of briefly, but unfortunately I actually do like this primer. So if you choose to order from them, that's on you. That's your choice, but I'm not going to encourage purchasing from the website because they haven't even responded to my email customer service that I talked about in a previous video. I sent them an email about some issues with my order, and I have yet to hear anything back. So I would suggest maybe ordering from the Ulta website or another website that carries LORAC instead of directly from them. And it sucks because this actual primer is good. It has kind of a silicone feel, but I want to say it's silicone free, but it gives you a kind of soft, just like a baby smooth skin and like canvas to start with your foundation. And it actually does look really pretty under foundation. So that's a shame that their customer service isn't the best. And then I'm going to just do a little bit of the Hollywood Flawless filter just over my entire face. I usually take a bath in this, but I'm going to try not to today. Okay, moving on. So I'm going to use Milani today. I normally use my Charlotte Tilbury. I will show you. Let me take it out of my drawer. The Charlotte Tilbury Airbrush Flawless Foundation is one of my absolute favorites. It's a beautiful formula. But I use that pretty consistent day to day and also on camera. So I figured let's give Milani a try. This is the Conceal and Perfect 2-in-1 in the shade 00BB Nude. And I talked about this foundation a couple months ago. I'm using a damp beauty sponge, by the way, as being a really good match for me, just using the matching tool on their website. I was very impressed by their ability to actually get a pretty good match based off of using the foundation finder tool. So if you are kind of curious about this foundation, it's actually a good one from the drugstore. So I'm going to just blend this in. And I have my Impressions Vanity light up mirror that came in my FabFitFun box for winter, and I finally put the batteries in there. So I'm using that today to get a little bit more of an up close look, which I think is so helpful. So for concealer, I'm going to use the LORAC Pro Soft Focus Concealer. Is that what it's called? Yeah, Soft Focus Longwear Concealer. I ordered this with the primer and some other products a couple months ago, and I have it in the shade 1.5 Fair. I do think it's quite yellow, you can tell. So I'm going to try it because I feel like it kind of goes with the Milani, the tone of the Milani. So I'm going to use a little bit of this because it's just been sitting in my drawer, and if I'm not going to make use of it, then it's got to go. But you can probably tell on camera it is yellow. I should have just gone with the very first shade, which is I think it's just number 1 Fair as well. But I chose this one, and I think I chose the wrong shade. So I'm going to kind of pull this down just a little bit and blend that into my foundation. So the color isn't quite great, but I do feel like the coverage is pretty good, and it wears nice. I've used this before. I will be doing a video just on concealers, like my whole stash of concealers. I might actually film that today. So moving on to brows, I'm going to kind of quickly walk you through what I've been doing. It takes a little bit of time, but I've been starting with the e.l.f. Wow Brow in the shade Brunette, and this is a little bit warmer than what I personally would have preferred, and I definitely do need to do my brows. It's overdue by a while. So I like to do a little bit of this tinted brow gel, and just this on its own is sufficient for a quick look for the day, but I actually like doing this first and then going in with my pencil. I have been enjoying the e.l.f. $2 pencil and then the Flower Beauty. I think I'm going to go in with Flower Beauty today, and this is in the shade called Brunette. And so then what I do is I just kind of go over the areas and just kind of fill any little spots that are left. All right, so got some clouds coming in, so it's going to get a little dark. I'm going to use some bronzer. This is the Charlotte Tilbury. This is the mini version of the Filmstar Bronze and Glow. If you want to try this out for the first time, the mini size I think is the way to go, and you get the bronzer and the highlighter. You can also purchase it in full size. So I'm going to go in with the actual bronzer, and I'm using my e.l.f. Complexion Duo Brush, which I actually do like for applying product. So I'm just going to kind of use this brush to place it. As you can see, it's a very soft, very natural looking bronzer. It's not offensive, it's not too dark, it's not difficult to work with. It's a really pretty formula, and I do feel like the tone is right as well, which is super important because some bronzers can pull really orange and some can go more red, and it just is such a good formula. Like, it just kind of made my job for blending a lot easier. Definitely one that I would recommend for sure. And I also like to take a little bit over my nose and do kind of like that sun-kissed look. For blush, I want to use this one from Milani. This is the Petal Primavera. I've talked about this before. This is such a beautiful color. And I think I'm going to go in with an angled brush. This is the small one from It Cosmetics. And I'm just going to take a little bit of that and apply it to the apples of my cheek. And then kind of buff that right into the bronzer. And haven't busted out my Milani blushes in quite some time, so I feel like today is the day. Okay, so for highlighter, I will be using the Beauty Wand from Charlotte Tilbury. This is in the shade called Spotlight. I absolutely adore this. I think you guys know that if you've been watching my videos for some time, you know how much I love this product. It comes with an applicator, but I've made a mess out of mine. So I typically just use my beauty sponge or a brush, and I just tap right over the high points of my cheek. Take a little bit in the temples right above the highest point of my brow. And then down my nose. Tip of the nose. And then the Cupid's bow I do with my finger. I'll do that later because I have lip product on. But this is such a pretty product. Oh my gosh. Love. And this is kind of what I would do day to day, except for I would probably use the Charlotte foundation just because that's what I've been loving. But I do want to use my Charlotte Tilbury palette. This is just so beautiful. I did a look on this using the purples and the pink shades, but I think I'm going to go in with probably some of the bronze tones today. So the Seduce Glow trio, because they're broken up into threes in this palette, and so I think I'm going to go in for that because it's calling my name. I'm going to go in with the tan from the Happy Glow as a sort of transition step with a big fluffy crease brush, and this is the lightest of the mattes, and there's only 3 mattes in this palette, and I think I mentioned that in my last video that I used it. There is only 3 mattes in this palette, and this is the Bejeweled, I think it's the Bejeweled Eyes to Hypnotize, I think is the full name. But the palette packaging is just beautiful. So I'm going back and forth, not being too precise or too careful with it because I feel like the formula on these blends so well. And a few of you actually left me comments that you've wanted to try the brand based off of my recommendations or the fact that I have talked about them and shared them in my videos. And that means so much that you guys take my consideration into purchasing products and recommendations that I give you, and I share with you guys the good and the bad, but I try to share with you truly things that I absolutely love and, you know, things that I actually use off camera. So I'm not going to sit here and use a bunch of stuff that I could care less about on my personal time. If I'm never going to reach for it and use it off camera, then I'm not going to mention it. And as you can see, that color just blended out so quickly. Alright, so then I'm going to take a smaller brush with the same color and go underneath. And let me get my lighted mirror here. And I'm going to go underneath here. The Morphe M506. So anything that's really, really small like this, I feel like it's good to have in your collection, whether it's Morphe or a different brand, because you can get right underneath and soften that without using something larger, the bigger crease brushes. Just to kind of soften the colors and blend as I go. I feel like that has been one of the biggest changes in my makeup application, is just kind of going and blending as I work with the colors. Okay, so now that I have that blended, I'm going to add a little bit more color to my actual lid, and I'm using a MAC 239 brush for this, and I'm going to pick up one of the bronze shades. I think I'm going to go in with this one here because it's a little bit more bronzy. This one has a little bit more of a golden undertone to it. Still a really beautiful color and really nice to work with. So I'm going to just load up my brush, tap off the excess, and I'm going to pat this right onto my lid, and it's so good. This is the bronze tones that I like. And so I know it doesn't look blended because we haven't gotten to that point, but I'm just sort of placing this color, and I'm pretty much going in all the way. I'm leaving the very, very inner corner blank because I do want to add a little bit of a highlight there that's lighter. And my brush is dry, and as you can see, it has an incredible amount of pigment, And I mentioned this last time, but I don't even see any fallout from adding that dark color. So it's a really great formula. If you haven't tried her eyeshadows, I would recommend that you do because they're really great. So this is where that little bitty crease brush comes in handy. You can take a little bit of that same color, or whatever color it's on your lid, and go around the edges and start working that and filling in the gap between the crease and any sort of matte eyeshadow that you have. Now I want to add just a little bit more of the same eyeshadow onto my lid. Just kind of pressing that really close to the root of my lashes and lash line right there. And take the same bronze color on an even smaller brush, and this is going to go on my lower lash line. I'm going to wipe off that brush, and I'm going to go in with the other bronze that's in the same little Seduce Glow trio. This one is a little bit more kind of golden. That's the one that I'm going to use over the top on my lower lash line. Ooh, so pretty. Maybe I'll add a little bit more of the Happy Glow tan color to my crease, just lightly. For the inner corner, I think I'm going to go in with this one here. This is the light pink from the Love Glow trio, and it's this one right here, so it's the lighter one with a really small pencil brush. This is the ColourPop E28, and this is going to go right in the inner corner to add a soft touch of pink. And this one does have kind of like a rose gold kind of vibe, so it goes well with the bronze, but I am using a little bit of it because this brush is, you know, pretty densely packed, so it's going to pick up quite a bit of color and product. So I don't want it to be super, super pink in the inner corner. And so I thought for liner, I like to use eyeshadows. I was thinking, how can I make this a little bit different? And I thought, let's try. I'm kind of scared to do this. The sort of reddish color, this one here. It looks more red on camera. I think it's just because of the lighting and the sun. But it's the kind of burgundy shade that's matte from the Love Glow side. And my mirror is so dirty. So I'm going to try this. It might not even work for liner. And then I'm going to probably go over it with some of the brown. I'm just doing a little bit because I'm not quite sure how this is going to look. I don't want to mess up this eyeshadow because it's so, so pretty. And it's kind of hard to see it. I mean, I can see that there's something there, but I would prefer probably something darker. So I'm going to go in with the tan or the brown from the Seduce Glow trio. So I'm not really feeling that too much, that red color with the bronze. So I'm going to go over that with a little bit of brown eyeliner. This is the Barbarella Brown from Charlotte Tilbury. And I'm also going to tightline with the same color. So for mascara, I'm using a new one. I am trying not to open up so many of them. I have quite a few that I want to use. And this one is one that I have been wanting to try. I saw the commercial last night. It's the Air Volume Mega Mascara from L'Oreal. And I bought this. I've had this in my drawer for probably a month or so already. And I have yet to use it, so I'm going to try it out. Like I said, I saw the commercial last night. I was like, you know what, I'm just going to go for it. So I'm going to try this for the first time. I normally would have gone with my Charlotte Tilbury Pillow Talk because that's the mascara that I have open. But I wanted to try this one and see. Is it really that good? We'll find out. say that there is a clump on here already. You probably can see it. Do you see it right there? That came out when I took the wand out. But I do feel like it did separate. It's a little bit more of a wet formula. The tube feels like there's like nothing in there. So I guess that's the whole air thing about it. We'll have to see, because as I am applying it, the camera might not pick it up very well. But there is like a big old glob on here. So I'm hoping that it doesn't mess up my lashes. I do like how it's really rich in black. I think I have the blackest black color, and it did provide lots of length and separation, so I like that. I am afraid to use this on my lower lash line. I feel like the wand and the formula is just, it's a little much, so I think I'm going to go in with a different mascara on the lower lashes, and then we're going to do something with the lips. So for lips, I'm going to use my Lip Cheat lip liner in Pillow Talk from Charlotte. And I'm just lightly going over my lip line to kind of define the edges. And then I'm going to go with a little bit more gloss, and this is the Patrick Ta She's Expensive gloss. It's a clear gloss, but it has like a pretty golden sparkle to it, and I like to use this as a topper to other lipsticks, to lip liners, and it has a nice peppermint feel to it. I feel like we are complete. I feel like the makeup looks really good. It's been a while since I used that Milani foundation. I'm just reminded today how good that foundation is for 10 bucks. It's such a good formula, and it covers really nicely. The primers work. The concealer's off a little bit on tone, but it's something I'm going to end up trying to use up. But I love the look of the eyes, the lips, the blush, the highlight, the glow. Everything is just so, so beautiful. And I hope you guys like the look that I created today. I know I do bronze looks a lot because I just absolutely love them. I love bronze eyeshadow. I feel like it just adds just something just seductive and smoky and sexy to the eyes. And I feel like it's a color that everybody can use regardless of what your eye color is. So if you haven't tried a bronze smoky eye, I encourage you to do so. And if you do try it out, let me know in the comments what you thought about it, if you liked it. There's certainly different tones of bronze out there, different brands, but I do recommend the Charlotte palette. I think this is a great purchase. It is a pretty pricey purchase, but the formula is great. The quality, the colors, the range of looks that you can create are really awesome. That is it. Check out the description box. Everything is going to be listed for you below, everything that I use, and I break it down in the face, eyes, and lips, so you can screenshot whatever part you're most interested in, and then you can add it to your shopping list to make it easier for you. Thank you so much for being here. If you are a subscriber, thank you so much for subscribing, for sharing my videos with your friends and family, for commenting, for just being here. It means more to me than you'll ever know. I appreciate you so much, and you can tune in to Instagram, which is where I'm most active on social media, to kind of interact with me off camera. When I'm not here on YouTube, you can find me there. So I hope to connect with you there, and I hope to catch you in my next video. Take care, you guys, and I'll see you soon. Bye-bye.